objective to acknowledge about the effects of food additives that can be happen on everybody, including ourselves.
First, introduction of food additives. Food additives are any substance that intentionally added to food in order to preserve flavor or enhance its taste and appearance, also maintain the quality, such as color, flavor, appearance, taste, and texture of the food. It divides to two types, which is natural and synthetic food additives. They help to increase of shelf life of the food by maintaining product consistency, wholesomeness, and freshness. Food additives are also substances added to food to preserve flavor or enhance its taste and appearance. Some additives have been used for centuries. Food additives are also defined as chemical substances deliberately added to food directly or indirectly in known quantities for purpose of assisting in the processing of food, preservation of food, or in improving the flavor, texture, or appearance of food. Some examples of natural food additives are soybean and corn, which are used to maintain food consistency, which provide beet powder is used sometimes as coloring agents, and caramel that is derived from caramelized sugar is used as a coloring agent. Next, what is the issue of food additives? Effects of food additives on consumers in the market, which consists of 3,000 types, are available, which are used as antioxidants and antimicrobial agents. Some of the commonly used food additives and preservatives are aluminum silicate, amino acid compounds, ammonium carbonates, sodium nitrates, and the others. Some artificial colors are also added to the foods to give them an appealing look. When the food is to be stored for a prolonged period, use of additives and preservatives is essential in order to maintain its quality, wholesomeness, taste, appearance, and flavor. The excess water in the foods can cause the growth and proliferation of bacteria, fungi, and this enhance food spoilage. Use of additives and preservatives prevents spoiling of the foods due to the growth of bacteria and fungi. One important risk posed by additives is the loss of the nutritional value of foods, which can result in inappropriate diets and subclinical malnutrition. The wide use of food additives can contribute to malnutrition in the following ways. The common factor in most foods containing additives is high salt, sucrose, and fat content. Even though some vitamins and minerals are sometimes added to some foods after processing, the ratio of essential nutrients to calories is usually still not enough, resulting in a high calorie but a low nutritional intake.
So the next subtopic is who is involved in this issue. So firstly, to whom it may concern is to all of the community that is included in the usage of food additives and its consumption, which means no matter what kind of gender, age, or skin color, everyone who digests any kind of food additives in their stomachs are involved in this topic. This actually includes me and you and everyone else, because we all have food additives, even the tiniest amount, in almost every dishes or meals in our everyday life. And also, this topic is highlighted towards people who have allergies towards the food additives themselves, because they are considered as special cases. Food additives can cause discomfort and irritation to these people because they will be taking worse effects than any other normal people in the world. So for these people who have allergies towards food additives, it is only beneficial and important for them to learn more about food additives' effects on humans' body. So next is when. When will the effects take action and affect our body? First, it could be immediately after a person eating some food that contain food additives. For example, they started to feel headaches. It may take a few minutes or hours or even a day for the effects to kick in. And usually this is how someone figures out that they are allergic to food additives. The symptoms will show up first before the worst part comes. So we must be very cautious towards what we feel after eating food with food additives in it. Second, it could be harmful in long run, which means that you won't feel anything for now as you digest more and more food additives continuously, not until the next 10 years or so. Because once we reach older age, the effects will take you in a full hit, whether you suddenly collapse or diagnosed with cancer. It doesn't matter, but there is a high risk it can be fatal and leads to death. This always happens to normal people when they stop being careful to what they eat every day. But if you look at the picture, that is a person who is diagnosed with cancer. She still looks happy, but you can be happier if you take care of your health.
Okay, so next we proceed to why. Why? Okay, types of food additive that causes some health risks. As we know that food additives are added to make the food to be seem more perfect and durable. Not all food additives have negative effect, but they can have an effect on people who are already sick. We can use food additive, but at the appropriate rate, so as not to have any harmful for us, an effect on our health. When undesirable chemicals end up in food, they could cause health effects, such as like allergic reaction and effect and sometimes it will be effect on organ or psychology like toxic effects. Okay, so that we can use the food additive but not too much. Okay, we proceed to the first one is sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide may causes gastric irritation, nausea, diarrhea and asthma. Usually this food additive we found it in carbonated drinks, dry fruits. Okay, we know that these food additives are very effect, especially for the sensitive individual, and this can manifest in a number of delayed reactions, including rashes, sometimes will be low blood pressure, and asthma sufferers in particular have a higher risk of developing a reaction to sulfur dioxide. Okay, the next one is tartrazine. Tartrazine yellow will may cause skin rashes, migraine, and usually we found this food additive in ice cream. We put it to add to a broad range of foods such as pudding, pickles, and gum. We use this food additive because that is more stable and a cheaper alternative to natural food dyes. We can conclude that the artificial food dyes do increase hyperactivity in children. Okay, the third one is potassium nitrate, code E249. The potassium nitrate may causes lower oxygen carrying capacity, and usually we find it in meat products because the potassium nitrate react with hemoglobin and generates a pink color. The fourth is benzoate. So the benzoate may causes allergies and asthma. Benzoates are preservative we use in some foods, including like cakes, cereals, food, acidic foods, jams. And benzoate can trigger the allergies such as skin rashes and asthma, as well as believed to be causing brain damage also. Um, but benzoate reaction are very rare, but sometimes this effect will be more effective for those who have sensitive with their body. Okay, the next is caffeine. Caffeine is a colorant and flavorant that has diuretic, stimulant properties, and it can cause nervousness and heart palpitations, and also occasionally heart effects. Usually we find caffeine, as we know, like in coffee, and sometimes in a tea we have a caffeine, but it's lower percent, so it's not affect your health. And the last one is sodium chloride. Sodium chloride reduces the efficiency of kidneys to filter out water. Okay, so that sodium chloride may causes high blood pressure, stroke. Okay, actually sodium chloride is a salt. We found it like in seaweed. Eating salt raises the amount of sodium in your bloodstream and risks the delicate balance, reducing the ability of your kidneys to remove the water. The result is a higher blood pressure due to the extra food and extra strain on the delicate blood vessel, leading to the kidney.
How? How food additive can be used directly or indirectly. For directly to food such as processing operation, the detail must be listed on labeling. If a substance is added to a food for a specific purpose, it is referred to as a direct additive. For example, the low-calorie sweetener aspartame, which is used in beverage, pudding, yogurt, chewing gum, and other food, is considered a direct additive. Many direct additives are identified on the ingredient label of food. For indirect to food such as packaging, storing, and handling the food, the information not normally included on the labeling. For example, some colorants like erythrocyan red, cataxanthin orange, and anatobizine yellow-orange give an appealing look to food that attract consumer to them, even though they do not add nutrient to the food. For instance, minute amount of packaging substance may find their way into food during storage. Food packaging manufacturer must prove that all material coming in contact with food are safe before they are permitted for use in such as manner. Advantage of food additive. I have three advantages. First, to maintain or improve safety and freshness. Without additive, some food will soon spoil. Additives are needed to ensure processed food remain in a good condition throughout its journey from the factory to the shop and to the consumer at home. Second, to maintain or improve nutritional value. Vitamin and mineral are added to many common food such as meal, flour, cereal, and margarine to make up for those like to be lacking in a person's diet or lost in processing. Third, improve taste, texture, and appearance. to enhance the taste of food, improve appearance and texture.
Okay, next is the disadvantage of food additives. First, it can cause heart risk and some reactions to consumers. It is because some food additives may be carcinogenic, like sodium nitrate has been shown to cause cancer to mice and may also cause cancer to human beings. Some people are allergic to particular food additives and it can cause side effects such as allergies, diarrhea, asthma and also hyperactivity. However, not all people taking these food additives will have these side effects. These side effects differ from person to person and will also vary under different circumstances. Second, it can destroy the vitamins and replace the ingredients. Although they are being used to enhance the color and increase the nutrient value of food, they destroy the vitamins since additives replace real ingredients. Manufacturers nowadays may replace the real ingredient in a commodity and add additives to bring out the same flavor. For example, they want to make the food taste like durians, but they didn't use the real durians. They only add the flavor. Due to these unethical practices, consumers are bound to suffer in long run. Okay, last is food additive may also be used to make bad quality food looks good. For example, like MSG is to enhance or balance the flavor in some food to make it more tasty, and also coloring to make sure the appearance look good and interesting. So consumers will attract to eat the food without knowing that the food is actually already being modified. Okay, the conclusion is for the consumers, each countries have their own governing bodies of food safety that follow the rules from Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations FAO, World Health Organization WHO, and the Joint FAO or WHO Expert Committee on Food Additives JECFA, which is they also give attention to perspective in halal food sector for Islamic country especially. The safety assessments completed by JECFA are used by the Joint Intergovernmental Food Standard Setting Body of FAO and WHO, the Codex Alimentarius Commission, to establish levels for maximum use of additives in food and drink. Codex standards are the reference for national standards for consumer protection and for the international trade in food, so that consumers everywhere can be confident that the food they eat meets the agreed standards for safety and quality, no matter where it was produced. Okay, next we have food additives in Malaysia, which is the Food Act 1983 and the Food Regulations 1985 of Malaysia is the backbone of food legislation governing various aspects of food safety and quality control. And then we have the Food Safety and Quality Division FSQD of the Ministry of Health MOH is charged with the implementation of enforcement of the law. We also have another significant authority is the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, which is MUHD. Since more than half of the Malaysian population is Muslim, labeling requirements for products containing pork and alcohol are very strict. Attention should be given to adhering to Malaysian labeling requirements to avoid any problems at the port of entry or on the retail level. Last is suggestions. First, the consumers must check the label of prepackaged food carefully, in particular the ingredients list for food additives added, if any which you could accept, like E numbers. And then for those who are allergic to certain foods or food additives, should always read the labels to identify the foods and additives which they are allergic to and avoid them. And get advice from medical professionals may be sought when necessary. Second is the consumers can try to eat natural food oftenly, like organic fruits and organic vegetables. Even though the price of organic food are more expensive than the processed food, but it really full with nutrients that good for our body. It can be found from reputable sources.
The last one is report any abnormalities of foods to the authority for investigation and other follow-up action. For example, like abnormal color, odor, and texture. So from that, stop consuming the food when it tastes abnormally and directly report it to the authority.